JIN BTS has done it again. And this time, the world is still trying to catch its breath. The moment he stepped onto the Gucci Fashion Week runway in Milan 2025, the entire venue fell silent before erupting into a storm of applause. How did a K-pop superstar transform a fashion show into a global cultural event that stopped both the fashion industry and the internet in its tracks? This was not merely a celebrity appearance. This was a historical moment where one of the most exclusive stages in luxury fashion was claimed by a Korean artist, sending shockwaves far beyond Milan. The question now being asked across the media: did Jin just redefine the future of fashion forever? Observers describe the atmosphere inside the venue as charged, tense, and electric. Milan's most prestigious runway was lined with the industry's elite: designers, editors, influencers, and celebrities. Yet all eyes were fixed on Jin. When his turn came, the lights dimmed, a single spotlight hit the stage, and the room collectively held its breath. Jin emerged wearing a bold yet meticulously tailored ensemble that combined Gucci's iconic aesthetic with subtle nods to Korean cultural motifs. Analysts have already begun dissecting the symbolism of his look, noting that it wasn't just fashion but a statement of identity. Could this be the first time Gucci has intentionally used its runway as a platform to celebrate Korean artistry on such a scale? The reaction was immediate. Phones went up, live stream numbers spiked, and within minutes, Jin's appearance was trending worldwide. Fashion critics have been quick to note that this moment was more than a celebrity crossover. It was a recalibration of the industry's priorities, a recognition that global fashion can no longer ignore the influence of Korean pop culture. Jin's presence on the runway marked a turning point, suggesting that K-pop stars are no longer just ambassadors for brands. They are becoming central figures shaping luxury fashion narratives. Is it possible that this single appearance could open the door for more Asian artists to headline future shows in Paris, Milan, and New York? Fans, meanwhile, treated the moment like a once-in-a-lifetime event. Outside the venue, hundreds of ARMY members gathered, chanting and holding banners as security worked overtime to maintain order. Some had flown in from other continents just to be near the runway show, even if it meant watching from giant outdoor screens set up by media outlets. Emotional videos showed fans crying as Jin walked, their voices trembling as they shouted his name. For them, this was not just about fashion but about representation. The feeling of seeing someone from their culture take center stage in one of the world's most historically exclusive spaces. Inside the industry, the conversation is equally emotional but more strategic. Gucci's decision to put Jin on its runway is being interpreted as a masterstroke in capturing Gen Z and millennial consumers, particularly in Asia, where BTS's influence is at its peak. Marketing analysts predict that this single appearance will translate into measurable sales growth for Gucci's upcoming collections. Some are even calling it the Jin effect, noting that nearly everything he wears tends to sell out within hours. This has raised a critical question. Did Gucci just secure the most powerful brand ambassador of the decade without even announcing an official partnership? The symbolism of the night extended beyond fashion. Commentators noted that Jin's confident, measured walk exuded a sense of dignity that resonated deeply with audiences. It wasn't just that he looked impeccable, it was that he carried himself with the gravitas of someone who understood the magnitude of the moment. His runway presence seemed to blend artistry, confidence, and humility, projecting an image of Korean sophistication to an international audience. Could this be why even veteran fashion journalists, usually reserved in their praise, have described the moment as transformational for the industry? What makes this story even more extraordinary is how it was set in motion. Only days earlier, Jin's departure from the airport had caused near pandemonium, with thousands of fans flooding the terminal in a send-off that looked more like a national celebration than a routine trip. That airport chaos became a global headline, building anticipation and amplifying the significance of his arrival in Milan. The crescendo of hype meant that by the time he stepped onto the runway, the world was already watching. This was no ordinary Fashion Week show. It had become a broadcast event, with millions streaming live from every corner of the globe. The timing of this milestone is also important, as luxury fashion seeks to remain culturally relevant in a shifting market. Aligning with figures like Jin offers a rare combination of star power and authenticity. Unlike traditional celebrity appearances that sometimes feel transactional, Jin's participation feels earned. His reputation for consistency, professionalism, and elegance makes him a natural fit for the Gucci brand. Analysts believe that his involvement could spark a new wave of collaborations between fashion houses and global music stars, moving beyond endorsements into true creative partnerships. Will this mark the beginning of an era where music icons co-design collections and influence entire fashion seasons? Even after the show ended, the impact was far from over. Social media platforms were flooded with clips, photos, and emotional reactions. Some fashion critics admitted that Jin's walk overshadowed other moments of the evening, with headlines focusing almost exclusively on his appearance. This dominance of coverage suggests that Jin's influence is not limited to music fans, but extends into mainstream culture at large. Could this mean that future fashion weeks will have to account for the global draw of artists like Jin to maintain their relevance? As Jin left the venue, the crowd outside erupted once more, their cheers echoing through the streets of Milan. The energy was described as euphoric, a celebration that blurred the line between fashion show and global spectacle. Commentators are now speculating about what comes next. Will Jin return to future fashion weeks, or even debut a collaboration collection with Gucci? The fashion world is bracing itself for announcements that could come as soon as the next season. This night in Milan will likely be remembered as more than just a moment in fashion history. It was a cultural inflection point where music, fashion, and global fandom converged to create something unprecedented. For millions of fans watching worldwide, it confirmed what they had believed all along, that Jin is not only a singer but a symbol of global influence and cultural progress. The question now is no longer whether K-pop belongs on the global stage, but how far it will go in shaping the industries it touches. Would you have imagined that a single runway appearance could create this level of global discourse? And if Jin's walk at Gucci Fashion Week can shift the conversation this dramatically, what will happen when he takes on even bigger roles in the fashion world? Perhaps as a designer, collaborator, or creative director. The world will be watching closely, because if tonight proved anything, it is that JIN BTS has the power to turn every step into history.